Travis Wayne Goodsell. There's a Ben Passy. I don't think it's the same guy. I don't think his name was Ben. But I did know a Passy in West Valley. Maybe he's a brother. Hope the Passy that I know is doing well. I know his wife was having some medical problems. There's a concern that she may be dead now, leaving him with the children, one of whom they adopted. Fun kids, despite the chaotic older child. That was years ago when I knew them. And yeah, it wasn't Ben. But this Passy doesn't know who I am. And so instead of first seeking to understand before being understood, do all Mormons know of that? Does it at least sound familiar? Stephen R. Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You do know he's Mormon, right? Did the Franklin Covey thing. Franklin Planners. I believe that was him, wasn't it? And he published a book. And Stephen Ames, when he was district leader, he was district leader on several occasions on their mission. He used that as one of the district meeting lessons, going over that book with us. That's the first time I heard about it. And so, yeah, he is clearly ignorant. I can go as far as stupid. He does not use sound arguments. And it's sad because he doesn't follow President Russell M. Nelson, who just came out yesterday to again remind everybody about his conference talk in April to not do exactly what Ben Passy did to me. So sad that Mormons disobey the living prophet of Jesus, thinking that they're in the right to do what they're doing, and don't realize that they're pulling a beam and a moat. You do know what I mean when I say that, don't you? Because apparently I've got viewers who don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about scriptures, guys. This is what my channel's all about. If I'm going to talk about Mormonism, I have to use scriptures. It's that obvious. I can't make stuff up. Dear God. So the video that he commented was another fallen Christianity falls. Is LDS Church next? Southern Baptists fell. Methodists fell previously. I go over that in the video. It's news. I saw again MSNBC also again covered it because it's pretty devastating for the Southern Baptists. And they had one of the female pastors on the show talking about how devastating this is for Southern Baptists. You know, Jesus is crying. The Southern Baptist Jesus is crying. He's sad. He gave Jania the priesthood. and priesthood office. He gave Phoebe priesthood office. And the Southern Baptists are turning against Southern Baptist Jesus to excommunicado those churches who have a female pastor. And thus they fell. I gotta stick within the religious beliefs. I can't use Mormonism on Southern Baptists. I can't say, well, because they don't believe in our Jesus, therefore they're automatically wrong. No, I have to use their Jesus to show how they're wrong. Joseph Smith did. Shouldn't I follow Joseph Smith's example? This is not complicated. But, yeah, it apparently is for Mormons. They just... Mormons, I'm sorry, you are. You get mad at me when I tell you this, and then you prove me right. I know you. And if you knew me, you'd know how I know you. And this is just sad. I mean, as a father of kids. And we got Father's Day coming up. We had conference where Nelson tells you to be good, and he can't do it. This should have been reported. But I can't trust YouTube. Because YouTube's even escalating their problems for Father's Day. I mean, Pornhub released their ban on Utah, and nobody knew about it but me, because I did the research. I sacrificed myself to find this information. And apparently nobody watches Pornhub in Utah. Okay, whatever. I guess Pornhub was wrong that Utahns don't watch. Maybe that's that VPN thing where it's masking people outside of Utah as if they're in Utah. I don't know too much about that, but I don't know. Maybe. So maybe Mormons don't watch porn. Maybe that's why they're banning the Bible and the Book of Mormon. But I did have a Mormon father tell me in a comment earlier this week that it's religious freedom to practice child incest rape. That was really disturbing. He didn't come out and say that. He just said religious freedom in response to my video on that horrifying thing. When you take the Book of Mormon literally. And he was trying to justify it being literal and therefore acceptable. Dear God. But this is the danger I warn you guys about. That the church weaponizes you. And then they victim blame you as a weapon. With Nelson's peace. Find somebody else who's a peacemaker and comment. Make sure it's me. Nelson, your president. I need to be boosted. But yeah, he's confused at how I know more than all of you. And he doesn't understand about the condescending Jesus. And pedantic? pedantic. See, I never memorized vocabulary growing up. I did associative memory. To be like a pendant. What? To be like a pendant. Okay, well, what's a pendant? Isn't it the... Okay, a person who is excessively concerned with minor details and rules, or with displaying academic learning. And that's a problem how? Excessively. I guess that's his problem. Because the church is all about rules, aren't they? Is he wanting to break the rules by calling them excessive if you bring them up? That is a tactic of dumbasses. Or with displaying academic learning. I didn't do that in that video. I did it in the one with the Stargate translation. Not me, Daniel Jackson. See, as a medical doctor, you've got to be very excessive with minor details and the rules. You're a medical doctor. Lives are at stake. And so likewise, your life is at stake if you're not going to pay attention and study. So I don't see that as a problem. I don't know how he's insulting me with that. Notice how my comments are just trying to tear down others. Again, he apparently thinks that these problems with Methodists and Southern Baptists are no big deal. I could have brought up the Catholics with the pedophilia that they've been going through. There's been more that came out earlier this year that's been exposed. It is a crisis in the Catholic Church. I'd consider that a fall. Am I tearing them down by reporting the news? But notice how this is all a beam and mote. He doesn't know me. So instantly, it's a false accusation against me. Instantly. He is not judging me righteously. He is judging me falsely. And thus, beam in the mote and the law, Deuteronomy 19, automatically kick into effect here. And he's too dumb about scriptures to know about it because he's not being detailed. He's not being pedantic or pedantic about it. He doesn't think religion is too big of a deal in life. He thinks he's got it all figured out with his 2 or 3 kids. It's too small to tell, but stay away from him for Father's Day. Contact child support services if need be. And so, yeah, I've got some scriptures for you. I'm just fulfilling prophecy. Stay tuned. Don't leave. Don't leave. You already left. The Stargate thing, people only came to see that part. That's it. Then they didn't even bother to come to the moral of the story. They turned it off. Oh, he's done. But nothing he is saying that here is building people up to Christ and encouraging them onward. Yeah, he's a younger man. Went through the I passed high school because I attended generation. And if you think that's insulting, No, that's exactly what happened. I was going to the University of Utah when they had teachers who were starting into that transition phase of offering students. You can either get a grade for this class or you can choose a pass-fail for the class. I was at that transition time. I know it is legitimate. And it's scary to have people graduating because they passed for attending to go into the job market. They don't have the education because they didn't bother to study or be pedantic in their field. And so, they're sensitive little snowflakes. Because he doesn't understand, he doesn't know Mormonism. And he doesn't understand who I am and what I'm doing. And so, he's talking about Jesus here, isn't he? I bet he is. Because this isn't a video where I talk about how Jesus is the great and abominable Christ of the great and abominable church that Joseph Smith warned Mormons of in 1838. Verse 19. And so, Beeman Mote. He's the one who's being condescending and pedantic with his comment. He's the one trying to tear me down. He's the one not trying to build me up to Christ. Which, if you knew me and you knew my view on Christ, and he's not encouraging me. And so he doesn't have the Spirit of Christ with him, because he's accusing me of not having the Spirit of Christ. And then he throws in the insult at the end. Love you though. God bless. Bleep you. This guy is a real ass. I don't see a wife. Did he murder her? Is he one of those Mormons who murder their wives? Because that's all too common in Utah. Dear God. And so, I couldn't report him. I had to make sure that he was gone for good, so I banned him. If he had made 2 comments, I would have reported this one and then banned him on the other one, depending on which one was worse. Because this kind of a person needs to stay away from me. He's dangerous. He's not a good person. Anybody who may know him, no, he is not a good person. Here's his true feelings. They're coming out and being exposed of who he really is. It's like road rage, which Utah is among the top in the nation, as Fox 13 News reported today. It reveals the inward feelings and beliefs of Mormons. When they make comments like this, when they do road rage, and it does lead to murder. It leads to violence. It leads to rape. He calls me a whack job. And so Whack Job Mayfield was the other one who is in denial of the church. It was the exact same video about Christianity falling. And apparently Whack Job Mayfield, there's abbreviations, and that's he's in denial that the church is going to fall. He doesn't believe the Book of Mormon. He doesn't believe Joseph Smith. Because I use scriptures, remember? I'm not saying it just because the church is being mean to me. Mormons were mean and chased me out of the church. I'm a snowflake. No. I did the research. It's in the Joseph Smith papers. Any of you can look it up and find out the church is false. But you're not doing it. So that you can be in denial. You're not studying your scriptures. You're not being pedantic about the church. So that you can be in denial. So that you can attack as a weapon for the church. This is the sad reality of Mormonism. And it's not just sad, but it's scary that Mormons could be so hard-hearted. Because what is pointed out as porn in the Book of Mormon is not literal history. Remember? It's the learning of the Jews, which means it's prophecy of Mormons for the latter days. Mormons are going to be child incest, rape, murder, cannibals. And I'm seeing the potential for that. That scares me. It should scare you. There are women who are not watching my channel, who know of the rape culture in the church. And I'm trying to warn women. I'm women's biggest advocate. And yet, they don't believe. They don't watch. The older women do, yeah. But not the younger women and my age women. They're upset that I say that Jesus isn't real. And they don't understand that when the church says that Jesus is real, that women need to fear. I mean, this is scary. Because when it all hits the fan, you know, you guys coming to me all shocked that Mormons would be this way, just as I told you they would, and you didn't believe me, but now you do. I go, yeah, whatever. Whatever your issue is, you made the choice. See, I'm not forcing you to believe me. Nelson is. He's insulting you. He's condescending. When he tells you that you're not a peacemaker and that you need to find some other peacemaker in your life and comment on his channel, he's condescending to you. And unfortunately, he's also right, because he set you up. And so now he wants you to just, you know, if you by chance you see a frown, do not let it stay. Quickly turn it upside down and smile that frown away. If you see the church getting in trouble, if the church is lying to you, cover it up with positive, happy faith promotion. Interpret everything with faith promotion. Because if you start questioning the church for being criminal, for lying to you, you know, you're in the wrong. You've got to be faith promoting about the church at all costs. Because Jesus is angry. And it's a major victory for Satan. And you fall for it. You guys are so gullible. Literally gullible. See, and this isn't a person who's knowing that he's evil and making his comments here. He's a guy who's completely clueless. He knows nothing of the church. And because he's younger than I am, he doesn't know a lot of the older stuff that the church no longer does. But it's still there, lurking to come out for the millennium. All of the older generation watch. They listen. They remember. And they remember the trauma that the church has put them through, even though they can't come out and talk to me about it all the time. I have a few that do, but the majority just watch and listen to me. And yeah, there's some who are priesthood leaders who narc to the Nelson so that Nelson can reply yesterday. But, man, that's just the sad fate of Mormons manifested in social media comments.